Who do you start on Saturday?
Who do we start on Saturday? We'll let Coach Stoops decide on that one. Obviously, it was a great weekend for us across the board. We had a really good crowd, a lot of activities with homecoming that people seem to really enjoy, and just want to thank our fans for their great support, and also was really pleased with all aspects of the game, what took place out on the field. I mean, kids really battled, and was impressed with the outcome, and obviously gives us a lot of confidence going into UCLA this week.
Since it's been a week now, almost, since Larry Scott made the announcement, what feedback have you received from alumni and fans, maybe in particular this past weekend, about the positional alignment? You know,
surprisingly, I thought there would be mixed reaction, just because any time you go through this, obviously, I think people thought, obviously we want to do everything we possibly could to benefit Arizona, and when you go through a process like this, you have to have give and take. And I had a few emails, but almost all of them were fired up about it, think it's great moving forward, and we're really pleased with it from a structure standpoint. We're really pleased with it from just a long-term outlook for our league. I think Commissioner Scott's put us in a really good position to allow us to go into these television negotiations when they take place that could really benefit us from an exposure standpoint, should really benefit us from a financial standpoint as well.
What one thing, Greg, maybe doesn't benefit?
What doesn't benefit Arizona? Well, I think the only thing that wouldn't benefit Arizona is if we finish second place and we have to go on the road for a Pac-12 championship football game. And although our goal is to make sure we host it, and I think that's the atmosphere itself will be incredible for that, and will really certainly have a collegiate feel to it. And so that model's worked really well in the NFL. We're going to have a home and away team in that, and that puts us in a good position to, I think, have a lot of interest and a lot of exposure right at the beginning, right off the bat with the championship game. Because you know it'll be sold out wherever you go.
How much of that came out of the concern of the declining attendance at the Pac-10 basketball tournament?
I mean, there was some discussion about that, but not a whole lot. I think one of the things that has worked well on a permanent neutral site like in the SEC, you have Atlanta. Well, out of the 12 schools in the SEC, 10 of those schools can very easily drive to Atlanta. And everybody really, I mean, even Baton Rouge isn't that terribly far, so I mean, Fayetteville's really the only place that would have a really tough drive. So I don't think that had a lot to do with that part of it as far as the Pac-10 basketball tournament. I think it was more, okay, even if you're in Los Angeles, that's still a long drive for a good chunk of our league. If you're in Glendale, same thing. So I think that's something you had to take a look at and say proximity-wise, because you know at some point, just like you talk about a college football playoff, how many weeks in a row can your fan base travel and support? There is a point where people are just going to say, hey, I can't do it. And so you got to be understanding of that as you're looking at your decision making.
Will your non-conference scheduling in football be impacted, do you think?
That's a good question, Greg. I think we need to sit down. Mike and I need to spend some time after this. Now that we'll be getting some preliminary future schedules here in the near future, and once we have a grasp of that, what weeks we have to work with when we're playing, are we going to play 9 straight conference games, or are we going to have an opportunity to have a non-conference game thrown in there somewhere, and what's your strategy with that from a competitive standpoint and also from a financial standpoint? I think we have to look at it a little bit differently than what we have, and so try to balance those two. And you know, I've said to you all before that we very much want it to be have people come out and see Arizona play first and foremost, and I think we've done a really good job with that. Our fan base has really done a nice job with that this year.